one story I tell a lot of my mentees is, if you really want it, like, you're not gonna know everything in the beginning. So, but to break into the wedding industry, it's probably the most difficult part, bro. Because imagine like a couple hiring a wedding photographer. I'm sure most of them, they want someone with experience.
Yeah.
Or like maybe a tattoo artist too, right? Like,
Of course.
I'm sure they just don't want someone like right off college that hasn't tattooed anyone tattoo your like, you know, your body. So this is, I tell all my mentees, like, if you really want to do this, you want to go 100% and make a lot of money, just reach out to other wedding photographers and shoot for free. Just don't even ask for money. Just shoot for free. I did like 10 or 15 for free. And I was still working full time. I would drive all the way to LA just to shoot, assist them for free.
You could also call it like an apprentice for them, you know? You can kind of say it in a way.
Yeah.
You know, but with that, it's like you're in different locations. So you're just going and pretty much giving your time so that you can learn, because nobody's going to trust you off the start, you know?
You got to build that resume.
Yeah, yeah. And that's just like impossible unless...
It's common sense.
Yeah, unless you know a lot of people that, friends that are getting married, but...
Today in the morning with my tax lady she has. And she was mentioning that she sees that I have an alpha personality and Shirley has an alpha personality because she knows us, right? And I was like, yeah, that's right. We think like that, but we check ourselves, and I'm not afraid for her to tell me like what are my weaknesses, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to tell her either. And that's sometimes it's all about respect. Once we say like, nah, shut up, stupid, you know?
Yeah.
Then we lost our respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe that's how it is, you know? She does give him the position like, I'm learning from you. And then Alex also says, you know what? I couldn't have done this without my wife. She's like the organized. She does the organizing and all that. He does the big plan thinker, like ahead of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, podcast started already. What's up? It's cracking. Are we ready?
Yeah.
We're ready? Done scratching you, fool?
Nah, bro, this just fucking got
What's
me.
going on?
I got fucking attacked by
got
mosquitoes
ants
yesterday. No, I got attacked by mosquitoes yesterday.
Where the fuck were you? Big Bear or what?
No, I was just fucking working on the car. I got fucking...
Put some ointment on that shit. Put some A&D.
I put some alcohol on that shit.
No, alcohol. Put some A&D on it.
All right, let's get started.
Introduce the podcast, bro. They've been watching us for 10 minutes already.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of IQ, or no, fuck, dude, I still have that in my head. The ICONIQ mindset.
The iconic mindset, my boy.
ICONIQ mindset.
Let's go.
My name's Josh. I'm right here back with Ricky.
Yes, sir.
And we got
What's up?
a special guest today. Photos by Mikey. There you go. You guys probably seen his work. We'll be tagging him. Amazing photographer and videographer. So we're gonna get to know you a little bit today.
Thanks for coming on the show, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
On
having
the
me.
podcast, man.
I appreciate it. I'm a big fan, actually. So
You know what? In the little comments behind the little conversation we had behind the scenes, you're hitting some different podcasts that we've done, and that tells me you have listened, and we greatly appreciate it. So we're gonna talk a lot about that. You know what I mean? We want to know a viewer's point of view that's also an entrepreneur. Let's talk about a little bit about your life, man. What do you currently do right now?
So right now I have a team. Well, I'm a wedding photographer and videographer, but we mainly do weddings. So like I'd say 90% of our work is weddings, and then like 10%, like we do corporate headshots. We do other events like corporate events. I do some portrait work still, but like now this year it's just mainly wedding. So like on average, like the last few years, this is like our biggest year. I think we're gonna surpass well over 70 weddings this year. So it's,
Damn.
70 weddings. That's 70 bridezillas.
pretty much.
And you don't have no gray hairs, bro. They're coming.
I'm good.
They're
good so
coming,
far.
bro.
You got some good genes.
70 weddings, bro.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, this month alone we have 15. Yeah.
Holy shit. I was going to say that averages out to about like 5 every weekend.
Yeah, pretty much.
If my math's right.
Yeah.
Between times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Give or take, right?
Yeah.
So how many do you shoot a week?
So like last week I had 5. So some days, like Saturday, sometimes we have 2 in one day. So I have my other team doing the other one.
Oh, you got a team now.
Yeah, I think the last time I was here, I think it was almost a year and a half or 2 years ago. It's been a minute since I've been back here. It was actually an interesting podcast. It was I believe it was the guy that almost got ran over. Oh, hold on. No, I can't remember. Or he was like in a car and almost got in a car accident.
It's probably
Ignacio?
Ignacio.
I think that's it.
Ignacio.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah. He actually, guys, was sitting. He had a little bit of time. He had done a photo shoot for my wife, and that's actually we met, right? Because you photo shoot my wife,
Yep.
and you were in the behind the scenes listening to the podcast. I think you were hooked, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry it took so long, man. But, you know, I didn't know it was 2 years, dog.
It's all good. It's all good.
Shit, you've been grinding to get
I've been
this.
grinding.
He's like, they probably don't accept me because I haven't been grinding as hard. No,
I've been
bro.
trying to tag ICONIQ tattoo studio every day.
I'm like, photos by Mikey. What's going on here? No. We appreciate you make the time, bro. And you were at the beach earlier today, huh?
Yeah, this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, were you doing a shoot?
Yeah, I was doing so the couple's actually from they're from Jersey. So they'll be here for a week. So they want to do like a 2-day shoot. So actually this morning we did Laguna, and then tomorrow we're going to Glamis.
The weather didn't help much today, though, huh?
Actually that's what they were going for. That's why we got there like at 7. Because
Gloomy.
yeah, they want that gloomy, foggy look. It was perfect actually.
And you said Glamis?
Glamis.
All for the
tomorrow.
dunes.
They want to get on top of a dune and shit,
So
or
they
what?
want that contrast because I'm doing photo and video. So I want that contrast between like the gloominess of Laguna and then the desert of like Glamis. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So you'll drive all the way over there with them, or you'll meet them there? How's that work?
I'll meet them there. Yeah, because they're from Jersey. So
Have you done a Glamis one?
I think this is my like
right?
probably like 8th one. Yeah.
Yeah, 4x4.
Just a Subaru Forester. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that thing goes anywhere.
It's fine.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
But the spot we go to, it's not even. We're not driving on sand.
Onto the dune. Oh,
Yeah, we're driving to like a small parking lot. It's right there.
It's right there by Sand Highway where we cross through. So you just go up there to the lookout.
The look. You know where it is. So.
Oh, so you're not actually treading that sand to get to the top?
Oh,
or-
we're still hiking.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're still hiking.
It's an adventure, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's
Still
crazy.
hiking.
That's crazy,
I seen
man.
those pictures actually you posted, and I was like, damn, he must be tired.
Nah, dude,
Especially carrying all that equipment.
yeah, it gets tiring because people don't realize like the sand there is super soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like imagine you're on a stepmaster, but it's like you're sinking.
Sinking every time?
Yeah.
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 But doesn't it get windy there sometimes with the dust? How do you do that for your lenses and stuff?
So I got filters, but sometimes you get really like nice wind. This one time though, I had winds like over 40 miles per hour. So like the sand was like
In your
in
face.
your face, and the couple could barely see anything. But we made it work though.
Yeah?
Yeah, we made it work.
Nice.
That's the crazy things about
Your assistant holding like something to cover them up, or not?
Sometimes I have like a screen, yeah. But for the most part, man, we just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just my style. Anyways, like whatever happens, happens. So
Do you love to do this?
yeah, I mean that's why like I quit. You know what I mean? Like we talked beforehand. Like I was like working like a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and like I was mainly like in the office.
When was this?
So this was like 2021, but I've been doing photography for over 7 years. But I was like, it was a side hustle.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody else that goes into like a certain like type of work. And so I was working there for like 5 years, but I was also working on like photography on the side. And I knew I wanted to do something else just because like I've always had the mindset of like being a business owner. I've actually had I've had other businesses like failed on me, but I knew like when I started doing photography, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like this is the one. So from that point, like I just started grinding. Like and I tell this to all my like, it's crazy not to think back because like I didn't know anything in the beginning. Like weddings, I didn't know anything. Now like people reach out to me, like I can't believe like I'm mentoring some of these kids now. You know, like telling them how to do this, like how to run a photography business. It's insane. Like when people start hitting you up, I'm like, oh, can I assist you? Can you be my mentor?
Oh,
I mean, it's insane that I'm at this point.
Yeah.
You know,
What was the first wedding you did?
my cousin. So I actually didn't make money. I lost money. I had to rent like another lens, another camera, because I knew like my camera wasn't gonna do it. So I didn't make any money. But when I did it though, it was like I was like, wow, this is awesome, because it was just like it was like a party, like having fun,
Yeah.
and you're also being creative at the same time, and you're not stuck in an office. So like I can always go different locations, and then from there I was just hooked, and then I just started YouTube education as much as I can from that point, and then I just but I didn't have a lot of money, so like I rented a lot of gear. Like I would just rent just because I knew like to level up your quality of work, you have to get better equipment. I'm sure it's the same thing with like, tattooing.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tattoo like really good, but maybe not with the best equipment.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So eventually I just got better. Like one story I tell a lot of my mentees is if you really want it, like you're not gonna know everything in the beginning. So, but to break into the wedding industry, it's probably the most difficult part, bro. Because imagine like a couple hiring a wedding photographer. I'm sure most of them they want someone with experience,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like maybe a tattoo artist too, right? Like
Of course.
I'm sure they just don't want someone like right off college that hasn't tattooed anyone tattoo your like
Yeah.
your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is I tell all my mentees like if you really want to do this, you want to go 100% and make a lot of money, just reach out to other wedding photographers and shoot for free.
Shoot for free.
Just don't even ask for money. Just shoot for free. I did like 10 to 15 for free. And I was still working at full time. I would drive all the way to LA, just to shoot, assist them for free.
You could also call it like an apprentice for them. You know, you can kind of say it in a way.
Yeah.
You know, but with that is like you're in different locations, so you're just going and pretty much giving your time so that you can learn because nobody's gonna trust you off the start. You know,
You gotta build that resume.
Yeah. And that's just like impossible unless,
it's common sense,
unless you know a lot of people that, friends that get married, but
right?
Yeah.
And then if a couple is getting married, they're spending 50 racks on their wedding.
yeah.
A good chunk of that is a photography. It's a one-time deal thing. They want security. They want to know you've come across every situation and you know how to handle it. Not, I only brought one SD card. I'm assuming that's a rookie mistake. I don't
The
know.
one that just happened, I think the SD card got formatted or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Reformatted?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that happens, right? So you have to have,
Yep.
like, I mean, I don't know. How do you
Multiple
take
angles.
care of that situation?
Yeah. So with a lot of cameras now, I know Carlos knows, a lot of cameras, they have like 2 SD card slots. So you can
So they're filming both, they're recording both at the same
both
time?
at the same time. So there's a lot of redundancy. And so, but I usually have more than 2 cameras usually on the day. And then I usually have another photographer with me. So it's like you got backups on backups.
But what about that single photographer it's his first wedding?
Man, you take that
cross your
risk.
fingers?
You take that risk. That like, because it's actually happened to me.
Yeah.
I was shooting a wedding actually like a couple months ago.
Okay.
And luckily I had 2 cards. And one of the cards, man, it just, it's like almost unreadable. Like I put it in my MacBook,
Mhm.
and it won't read. I don't know what happened to it. So luckily I had another one that was in there, and it was fine.
Can you imagine?
Dude, yeah. I mean, because imagine if you lost all the files and you shot the wedding, and like you got to tell them, I'm sorry, I lost your files. I mean, that's a lawsuit right there.
I mean, I think it happened to one of our family members where they recorded and the image quality was low and they never got the video. I forgot who it was, but yeah, that would be the worst. That is a career killer for sure.
Yeah.
Right, bro?
Damn.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I kind of like connect with you guys a little bit more, just because like it's almost kind of the same thing, right? Like, I mean, you tattooing someone's body, which is crazy.
One time.
It's the one-time shot. So like, you only have that one opportunity. Make a mistake. It's like shit. Like
Yeah. I actually didn't think about it like that, but it's very stressful because, in a sense, that's the similarities. You get that one opportunity for that day to capture those moments.
Yeah.
We get that one opportunity in that day to do that tattoo the way we want. And one wrong line changes the whole thing, a couple shading, so very stressful. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about how to mitigate those stresses, right? Like,
Well, I was gonna say, when you're shooting a wedding, are you usually guiding the couple what to do, or are you just following them with the camera?
Yeah. So with a lot of the weddings that I do now, I actually pre-plan a lot of the stuff. So I tell a lot of my guys, like if you have an iPhone, I actually create like a timeline on the notes, and then I just share it with my team, so we're all on the same page. And so we try to follow like a strict like timeline. So because also too, like with weddings, everything's on like a timeline, like because sometimes what happens too, if someone's late, like a vendor is late, and I don't want to be that vendor that's like, oh shit, like Mike's taking forever doing these family photos, and then now like the caterer is like waiting on me because the food is like sitting there, You know,
Oh, shit, I didn't
getting
even
cold.
think about
you know what I
that.
mean?
You're
And then,
right.
or or I've had this happen where the officiant was late.
The who?
The priest or the pastor, the
Oh,
officiant,
gotcha.
and dude, like it pushed back everything by half an hour.
Damn.
Yeah, so like I mean, the guests were already seated right in the church, and they're just waiting for like half an hour, waiting for
No shit.
pastor. Yeah. So now in
Can't
my
complain to him though.
yeah,
Huh?
You can't complain to his boss though.
Yeah.
His boss is Jesus.
Dude, that is very high stress.
high
That-
stress, bro.
uh,
Yeah.
A wedding is if you now that I'm thinking about it right now, a wedding is a conglomerate.
Logistical nightmare.
Yep.
It's a what's a conglomerate?
Conglomerate. Yep.
Conglomerate of different tasks had to be done for an event. It's an event,
Yep. Certain
and they
times.
all have to be on point.
on point, bro. Yeah.
And you is your sole responsibility is the filming and everything. You know, if you're late or you
Yep.
miss something, you forgot a certain tool,
Yep.
career breaker right there.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
So that pre-planning is key, huh?
Pre-planning is everything. Just because, like, so, and also I can't remember everything too. Just because, like, like I'm saying, I'm dealing with tons of couples recently. So, like, that's why I have the notes. So whatever they tell me to, like, certain shots they want, I put everything down, and then I just review on the day because it's almost impossible to remember, like, because sometimes I have like back to back. So I gotta like have everything on my notes to remember what they want. You
Are
know.
you there till it ends or till like they cut the cake?
Usually like on average we do 8 to 10 hours.
Okay.
Most of the time, yeah. Usually it's like until they cut the cake, and then they want a little bit of like dancing. You know, they have some like sometimes a grand exit where they have like the sparklers and stuff,
Mhm.
and then we shoot that. But most of the time, like it's 8 hours and whatever they want. Like that's the thing with weddings, bro. It's like it's never the same. Like
Yeah.
everything is always different.
Yeah, because everybody wants their own different
Still
thing.
crazy that many people are getting married.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest expenses that people do for their events. You know, aside from a quinceañera, which I got coming up in 5 years. Fuck, I'm gonna work on you on a deal. Dog. You want some tats? You want some tats, dog? Do you you know?
Yeah, whole sleeve.
You know what I mean? Let's talk about it, bro. Let's get it going right now. So I don't have. That's one thing out of the fucking cost. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm always thinking, bro. Thinking ahead.
There you go. There you go.
Do you do quinceañeras?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, the video, do you do video and photography, right? How long are the videos? Because from what I remember, I would see somebody recording a camera back in the day, non-professional, and it was 2 hours, but an hour and a half of it was just in the sermon. Is that what it's called,
Yeah.
sermon? Just like that with the padre. I'm like, why the fuck did we record that? You know what I'm saying? And then everybody wants to forward it to the dance and the cake.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's only like 10, 15 minutes of it. And we're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? No direction, no common sense of
Yeah.
everything, right? Because I remember I used to record with my camera. I used to have a camera. It was like a little camcorder.
Yeah. The VHS.
And I would always, my dad had one, so I'd always record. I think that's why I got love for like doing these edits and stuff. And I remember in bautizos and stuff like that, I would be there and I was like, I'll pan over to the family and then I'd pan over to the priest. And I pan over and then I'm like, okay, well, should I be recording a lot? Like, dude, I could have just recorded like 3 minutes of this and moved on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. How long are they?
So like nowadays it's like 5 to 10 minutes. It's like a highlight video. Like imagine like a long movie trailer.
So nobody wants a hour experience.
Yeah, not the new generation.
A lot of
Like,
people don't really watch them.
yeah, but
I think we never even did.
I think they want them for like Instagram, right? They
Ins-
want videos for Instagram and to like
That's crazy. Because
Yeah.
before,
Instagram weddings.
I remember for my sister's quinceañera back in the
It's
day
like
too.
2 hours.
It was like an hour and a half, you know, and it was the setup of the dress on the bed and all that. Why are you laughing, Carlos? We should have put a mic on him because you did some of those, fucker. You've done some of those. Then he said podcasting my thing. Fuck that.
King says
You know. So it's crazy. It went down to 5 to 10 minutes.
Like I only offer 5 minutes, but if they want 10, I'll charge extra.
Charge accordingly.
So, but what happens though, a lot of the parents want longer edits. So, what I started doing was okay, because my specialty is like highlight video, and then what I started doing was like, okay, let me just record the ceremony and then like maybe the speeches. So I'll do that separately, but I'm not gonna do like a 2 hour edit for you. Just
And you just give them the raw footage?
just get them because
That's smart.
most people don't want that anymore.
No.
They don't want a 2 hour.
I think it's the older generation.
Yeah.
Older generation, yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
You look at this in 30 years, like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, things definitely evolve with photography, you know, like even for me within like the past 7 years, you know, with like AI technology, I mean, it's insane. The
You're
styles.
incorporating that?
What's that?
You're incorporating AI?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. So I use certain apps to kind of like enhance my images, not completely, but I know you guys talk about Mid-Journey
Yeah.
in the last podcast.
Yeah. Journey, and now Photoshop is doing AI beta, so it's crazy. So it's tools.
Yeah.
It's tools. And at the end of the day, if they help you be more efficient, why not use them? You know what I'm saying?
That's the way I look at it.
A common person is not gonna be like, do not use AI on my fucking videos, okay? They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. It's all within the industry. You know what I'm saying? And people that hate on it are the people that don't want to add it to their roster, or whatever the hell it's,
Or don't want to learn it?
or don't want to learn it.
No.
That's the way I look at it. It's like remember when the internet came around and no one wants to like, oh, internet's just gonna go away.
I'll never buy anything there.
Yeah, exactly. Catalog, you know,
Yeah.
phone books. But yeah, man, it's just evolved so much, like with technology and then like the styles too.
Mhm.
It's incredible, like because I follow some younger photographers. It's like, oh my god, like super talented, man. Like, you know, like, and I always try to like kind of keep up with like, you know, even the trends, but I try to stick to what I know and like what I feel like I can bring.
True to your brand.
Yeah, to brand. I never want to try to copycat anyone. And that's why like I follow other photographers, but I never like follow them like a super fan. Just because like if I keep following their work, I don't want my work to like be exactly like theirs. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then I always try to push myself every time I do a wedding because it can get redundant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always try to be a little bit different, creative, have a new perspective, bring different gear sometimes. But there's a certain level of quality I still expect from my team. So that's why I always have like a structure. I'm very structured with everything.
When did let me stop you there. When did you decide in your gigs that I need a structure? Like right off the bat, or after like
The
some?
first wedding.
Yeah.
I think once I started shadowing other photographers, I saw how they did things, and then I was like, "Oh, that's." And I just started picking here and there, but I knew for me to get to the next level, I had to, because it's interesting with like photography clients. They get attracted to like work, right? I mean, that's how they find
Right. The
photographers.
visuals.
The same thing with tattoo artists, right? They look at your work and they probably like it. So I knew I had to like, if I want to get a certain level, I had to photograph certain type of weddings at a certain point. But I had to have a structure to be able to do that. So probably after like I did my first 10 weddings, I was like, okay, I need something like a workflow to keep it consistent. Because it's really all about consistency. Because if someone's gonna hire you to do work, you got to provide that same consistency.
Yeah. They want to see like, okay, let me show me your last 4 weddings. Oh, well, they were like a year ago. You know?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, okay, you must not be that busy. But if you said, I just did one last week at Newport, I did another one over here, and I did this, then they're like, oh, this guy's in high demand.
Yeah. Like I tell you a quick story. So I had a client call me and we had like a long conversation. We call it like a discovery call. So we just talk about like, about her wedding, and I kind of just try to connect, and eventually she books me, right? And I asked her like, oh, what did you prefer me other than, and I usually ask this
I
question.
love that question.
Yeah. So what do you prefer me over other photographers? Just for my curiosity. She said like, you're pretty active on Instagram. Like she reached out to other photographers. They hadn't posted anything like in months.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the main reasons, because she felt like I was more active and I was like more involved, and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, maybe more passionate, just because I'm always posting, consistently, than someone else that hasn't posted in like months. So,
Let me ask you, are you to the point where you're choosing who you want to work with, or are you still just whoever calls in?
Yeah, I'm kind of at that point actually. Just because also my price range too. Like a lot of people can't afford me anymore. So like, and that's why I have another team that like does more of those smaller weddings. You know, so I never miss out. It's like, okay, so we call it like associate work. So let's say, you know, the budget
Social work?
associate.
Oh, associate.
Associate work. Yeah.
okay.
So let's say like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna have my wedding in backyard. You know, it's like
Yeah.
a small wedding, but they can afford me. So I was like, oh, I have my other team here. They can do it. You know, like at a lower price.
Yeah.
I'm still making money, and my team's making money. So, and I'm still, you know, we're still capturing those clients. But it doesn't mean like, because some of those, like to be honest, I don't post a lot of those type of weddings just because I'm trying to get to the luxury level. Even like there's another level to another level that I'm trying to get to. So I'm not posting like those. Nothing against like backyard weddings.
We totally get it, bro.
Yeah,
That's
you know what I'm saying?
similar
Trying
to
attract
us.
your own clients, like the ones you want. Yeah.
Yeah, that's similar to me. I don't post the small work. I do some small work. I
Yeah.
take care of. If you're my client and you've gotten a full day session for me,
Yeah.
and you say, Ricky, man, my girl wants just a small banger right here, you know, just a infinity sign, you know, with my name on it. I'll do it. It was just so right, like it was so detailed. Just happened. I will say, yeah, I'm gonna take care of you, you know,
Yeah.
because you're my client, right?
Yeah.
I don't want him to go to another shop, or
Yeah.
maybe I'll refer him to one of my guys.
Right.
But I won't post it because then it'll appear that I can do those too. And I only do full day sessions right now because I have a certain amount of overhead and all that stuff. So it's only beneficial for me at this time
Right.
that I can do that. So you're in the same boat.
Yeah.
And you get what you post. You learn that, right? You know what I'm saying? If you want to keep to the premium, post premium. It would look weird after the sudden you're like in the backyard of Chino or something, you know what I mean? And they're like cows over there and you're like recording and, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's how they want
Shout
it.
out to Chino, by the way. I don't know if there's cows there still, but I just remember that's how it was.
Yeah, man. And I've done a couple in Chino, like in the backyard back in the day.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I don't accept every single wedding anymore, just because like, because weddings, right? You're reserving the entire day.
Yeah.
So like, if I book like a small wedding, I missed out on the bigger wedding. If that makes sense.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's opportunity
I think
cost.
it's just crazy how much you've gone so big in just a matter of 2 years.
Yeah, pretty much 2 years. Yeah,
Damn,
What
2
do you
years.
attribute that to?
man.
That fast growth.
I texted you like it was yesterday or I don't know if it was the other when you were doing the live, and I was like I think I commented. I was like, let me get on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like hit me up. And I was like, and then
You're on the live.
Yeah, and then we were talking on DM. It was like, it's a lot of hustle and grinding. Like I literally, I haven't really taken a vacation in a while, like in a couple of years. Yeah. So like the first when I knew I really wanted to do this, like I had to make a lot of like sacrifices. I used to hike a lot. I used to do a lot of stuff like adventures, and now my circle of friends is different now, just because like, oh, Mike's always working. Mike's always grinding. He's always doing photographs, and then so like they don't ever put me in the group chats anymore.
Right.
Because don't worry about. He's never gonna respond.
He's going to say no anyway.
He's
He's
no,
busy.
right? So now my circle of friends are like, they're like more hustlers. Like we're all photographers, videographers, always like trying to achieve a certain goal, and it's just interesting because like when you're pursuing something, there's a certain like level you have to get to. So like, and I always try to connect with people that's better than me. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna get better when I'm with those people.
Of course.
But yeah, man, it was just a grind. Like literally, like when I was still working too, I would sometimes like if someone like a client calls me, they're like, I'm gonna take a quick break in the bathroom and just have the consultation come to the bathroom.
They're like, why is there an echo when I talk to you? Oh, that's an effect we're doing for us.
It's a waterfall.
It's a waterfall. We're in a nice pristine waterfall.
It's in my backyard right now. But yeah, man, I was like, literally, if anybody calls me, I would respond like within minutes.
That is
Like,
key, bro.
Within minutes, like
That's key.
calls,
Because that can
text
make the
messages.
difference. Because think about it. Let's put yourself in that caller's shoes.
Yeah.
They're ready to drop $5,000, $6,000. I don't know how much you charge, right? I'm just saying just a number.
Yeah.
On somebody. If you don't answer, they're going to the next person.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you might call them back and be like, "Oh, I just booked with somebody else."
Yeah.
It's essential that you pick that up, especially in a a pulse type of like, they don't know you from anything. So they're just, they reach some people and they're calling. You're just number 3 on the list, and you just happen to answer it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. So we got to nitty gritty. Now I want to know.
Bridezilla moments?
Yeah. What's the worst?
Tell us some stories, bro. We want to know some stories.
Yeah.
What's the worst experience you've had filming a wedding?
And I have a picture of it.
We love pictures here. So Carlos, we're gonna be noted. We're gonna put up this picture.
I'll keep the names confidential.
Yeah, of course.
So I had a wedding in Redlands, and
my homie just got married in Redlands. No, just kidding. Go for it.
And it was a Mexican wedding, so it was like 12-hour. It was 12-hour wedding. It was a long day, bro.
That's a short one.
And
that was a pre.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
And I was pretty much done. I was like, I was packing up my gear in the car, and I just had bought this Toyota Camry, like brand new. It was like 5 days ago. I just bought the car, and so I was packing my stuff. I had my other assistant helping with the gear, right? And usually before I leave, I try to say bye to the family and like the bride and groom. And so I packed everything up. I was trying to look for the couple. I couldn't find them. And then I was like, oh, let's go over to the dance floor. They're probably dancing over there. So I walk up there. I see the groom, but the next thing you know, my assistant, he runs over to me. It's like, Mike, someone broke your back window. So I run over there. And like my back window in the car is shattered.
Damn.
There's a big hole like this big.
Okay.
And then I didn't see it happen, but my assistant, he's like, oh, yeah, the brother's groom. He's like wild, like completely drunk, and he doesn't want to leave. And come to find out, this is what happened. And it's funny because I had just talked to him like a few hours ago during the day, like completely sober. And so the way the venue is, the office manager of the venue, her office window is like facing the restrooms. I don't know if you ever seen like restrooms where there's like women's and men's.
Yeah.
And there's like a community.
Yeah. You can see each other.
Yeah. And there's like there's a sink in the middle that they share.
Yeah.
But the door's open, right? So her office is facing the restrooms with the door open with the sink right in the middle. So she's in the office like during her work, whatever. And this guy's a big dude, 6'8".
Huh.
So he comes out of the restroom. Oh, I don't know if he came out of the restroom, but apparently both restrooms were occupied. So he's opening the doors. They're both occupied. So he starts pissing in the sink.
Okay.
And she sees that.
Right.
And so she tells the security guard, oh, we got to kick him out.
Yeah.
And he just went off. He started hitting every single car, like, and apparently mine was like the
weakest one.
The weakest car.
You didn't have a tin on it, bro. It was too new.
Yeah, apparently, it was brand new. So, and he punched through the back window, like,
holy shit!
Like,
was he bleeding?
Yeah, he was bleeding. He didn't want to, he didn't want to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But he's a big dude, like 6'8". So I could imagine how strong he was. But yeah, like imagine trying to punch your own window.
Yeah.
Just with your fist.
It's tough, especially on a Camry, bro.
Luckily, you walked away. That would have been your face.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, the two security guards couldn't even control him.
Really?
Luckily, he like kind of calmed down a little bit, and he was still like crazy. But yeah, I had to drive home with like a broken windshield.
With a broken windshield?
On the freeway.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then I had to, luckily, I was able to get it fixed. I had to go to Sedona like a couple days later.
Did you bill them? Did you bill
so, what's funny is so when that happened, right? All the family of the bride and groom was like,
man, if someone was pissing in our sink, they'll be out the door real quick.
That's crazy, dude. Hey, photography for weddings, man, is no joke. I thought it was just point and click, man. That guy's going through some stuff, huh?
Just carrying a lot of shit. I can't believe that.
Crazy podcast, man. But before we continue that podcast, guys, we want to tell you guys, please don't forget, if you guys are in Fontana, California, and you guys want to get a tattoo, go to our website. Our website is ICONIQtattoostudio.com. Check out all our artists. We have 7 artists right there. You could actually put a consultation. And Josh, tell them how fast we respond to those.
We'll get back to you within 24 hours. You'll be set up with an artist of your choosing, or if anyone's available that you prefer.
Yeah. So don't forget, man. If you guys want to get a tattoo, hit us up. We'll give you guys a badass tattoo. But let's go back to this conversation with this guy, man.
One thing is, don't be that drunk Theo.
Don't be that drunk deal, man. But let's listen more to this guy. This guy has a lot of stories. So let's go back.
They're like, oh, we're gonna take care of it, but everybody's drunk. You know, it's a
yeah.
wedding, so like, you know, like I don't even know if they're gonna remember this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They'll be like, what? No.
You should have put it into the highlight video.
At the end of it.
I wish I got footage of it, but it was like spontaneous.
Yeah.
But that's one of them. I've had a couple ones too, like people getting in fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was in San Diego, Samoan wedding. Oh man, I didn't see it happen, but all I heard, you know, like football, when you hear like the sounds of like the shoulder pads hitting.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
No shit.
Like-
and Samoans are no joke. They're like,
Man.
It's huge.
Yeah, usually it was like a young.
was the Samoan women fighting or the Samoan men?
I was a man.
Oh, okay. They were going
There
at
was
it, huh?
one kid, he was like a teenager and like an uncle. I guess he got into something. Luckily, there was other bigger Samoan to break it up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, luckily it didn't brawl out. It's just
Do you take account for that on your schedule? Things that happen like that?
Yeah, like it's on my contract. So like if of course I got insurance, but if something happens where I get harassed, I can call it quits. Like if you keep harassing me, like like the moms and stuff, dads, I can leave if I wanted to. If that continues to happen, I give them a warning.
So as I'm hearing this story, I'm imagining you get hired by a lot of weddings, right? Of couples that are, and you have a diverse amount of people, right? From Mexican, Samoan to whatnot.
Yep.
What is a common thing that you noticed about those weddings? As far as like, what can you tell us? Like, as a photographer, through the eyes of the lens, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there some things you can find similar that, even though they're all diverse, but like, what is the common theme in them? Like, is it just that like the community, or what do you see?
I would say the stress.
Like from my perspective,
Yeah,
like,
from your perspective, through the lens.
through
Like,
the lens.
don't you ever think about that when you're filming? Like, the mom's happy, the dad's hating that food, you know? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know, it's so diverse, man. Because I do shoot a ton of different like cultures. Like,
Which one's the rowdiest?
oh man, black people for sure.
Yeah, they get rowdy? I was going to say.
But Hispanics too. I mean, they can get crazy.
Yeah, the bandas.
The bandas, and some people just get completely drunk. That's probably the biggest problem is when people get drunk. That's
Yeah.
when things happen.
Oh.
Like
And it's open bar.
open bar, bro. That's usually what happens. Because the guy that punched my window, it was an open bar venue, and they just gave him so many shots. But I'd say like common theme though, like here in California, because I've shot weddings in Texas and different states too. Definitely family. Like
Family union.
yeah, family union, especially Hispanics, man. It's like man, like they really like value family.
The culture too, right? They like to bring a lot of culture into the weddings.
Yeah, like especially if it's like a Catholic,
Okay.
you know, Hispanic, you know, they really value like the tradition.
Have you seen a crazy tradition that you never saw before? Like, as far as.
Oh yeah, man. So yeah, I got a ton. Cause at this point, I've probably shot over like 350 weddings. So
350 weddings.
350 weddings. So I've done man, I've done
Is there one that stands out?
oh yeah, gypsy. A
A
gypsy
gypsy wedding?
Yeah, you know what
Tell-
gypsy is, right?
Well, I mean, the ones that go. Right?
Belly dance.
Yeah, the belly dancers. There you go. I just did one. I don't know how to say that politically correct with my audience here.
But yeah, that one was a trip. Just because I think it was an arranged marriage, and they were really young. I think they were like, because the mom had hired me, so I never got a chance to talk to the kids. I call them kids. They look like freaking. I don't know if they're under 21. I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually arranged.
Yeah, arranged, and it's they look.
Did they look happy?
Yeah, they look happy.
I mean, the dude probably was.
Yeah,
I'm
the
gonna give me
dude
some.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody's like jewelry, bro, like blinged out. It was an interesting wedding for sure.
Yeah.
The bride, she had like 3 different dresses she changed into, and then like it was just a different vibe. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like the normal wedding where you have like a ceremony and then like cocktail hour. It was just like I just had to go with the flow because I never done it before. She was just photograph everything. I was like, okay. So that's a unique one. Another one I did. I think over the years too, you know what I mean? Like with genders, right?
Mhm.
Like I had one that was a non-binary wedding.
Okay.
So I had a hard time because I kept calling him he and then her she,
Okay.
but they keep correcting me because like, oh, call us they. I'm
They.
like, that is the
Okay.
hardest thing to
Yeah,
do.
It's hard, yeah,
It's
because
super
we're not
hard.
used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually I just started calling by the names, but so they had and this is in Hollywood. They had a mixture of like he's white and she's from Africa.
Okay.
So I had a mixture of like a weird like African tradition, and then they're all wearing white,
Hmm.
almost like a cult kind of.
Damn.
Cult like, yeah, something
Cult-like.
different that you
That
never
sounds pretty
experienced.
cool though.
Yeah,
It's
and
different.
and they were a really really cool couple. I mean, but they had their own. They did their own thing for sure. They sang songs during the wedding together. They all wore white.
Did you have a pre-plan of this before going in, or
Yeah,
you?
they gave me the timeline for sure.
So-
But yeah, that was one of the most unique.
Did they have a cake?
no cake?
They had no cake.
No cake. Yeah, no cake.
I'm noticing that more now.
No more
People-
cakes?
Yeah, a lot of people don't have cakes that much,
They usually have like
or like a small one.
yeah, a small one like a bundt cake, or they have like a table of desserts usually.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think they take the cake and eat it a year from there. I didn't know that was a tradition.
That what?
That you take the wedding cake and then you save a piece and then you eat it in a year.
Preserve it.
Yeah, you preserve
What the
it.
fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a tradition apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah. But most of the time, people don't even finish the cake.
Yeah.
That's why. So that's why like I think a lot of couples now realize it's a waste of money,
It is. Yeah.
you know, and so they just get like one tier or like the bundt cake.
I think.
So,
Alright.
I was gonna say, so no, go for it. Go for it.
I was saying about the cake. I think caterers or cake makers kind of just realize like this is my opportunity to just show off something big and overcharge and it's for the aesthetic of the view of the
Yeah, yeah.
towers and everything. That's really most people are not gonna eat all that cake, dude. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like I think it's just an exaggeration part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And it's interesting, man, because there's so many unique stuff now I've seen too, like what couples incorporate into the wedding.
People just want to go viral now.
Oh, dude.
So the cakes open up and then they
Oh.
create
Well,
something.
not even the cake, like other vendors.
Uh-huh.
Like I've seen like churro like vendors.
Okay.
Lotes.
Elotes.
Oh, I see.
Like cotton candy, like cotton candy for weddings. Like champagne wall where a hand comes out of the wall, like a real hand comes out of the wall, and they serve champagne.
What the hell?
Yeah, so they ring the bell, and then
No way.
yeah, and then a hand comes out. There's someone behind the wall.
What?
That one that fucking laced the cake.
They
You see that one?
yeah, lace the cake.
She laced the cake with weed. She actually got sued.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen the white jumpers, inflatable jumpers?
yeah, the white jumpers. Yeah,
Yeah, have you seen that?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how that was a thing. Cause
Yeah.
so you said over 350. Let's talk a little bit about the mindset,
Yeah, yeah,
right? 'Cause
sure.
this is what we. I mean, we ask these cool questions because we're getting to know a little bit of what the industry.
Mm.
Let's get into the mindset of this, right? You have over 350 weddings. You said after the 10th wedding, you started realizing you have to put in a structure. At what point did you start realizing I got to learn how to communicate better with these, with my clients? You know what I'm saying? As far as like, you know, you're in the event, it's high stress. You realize I can't. Do you stand back and let them direct you, or do you figure out I have to be more present and coordinating because these couples never, they don't know where you're gonna view, what your angles are. You know what I mean? And I think that involves a little bit of finessing in your part of
yeah.
saying, "Hey, Samantha, you know, nice dress. How you doing today? Oh, you look great." Kind of like become their assistant in a way. I'm thinking. Does that make any sense?
Yep.
That actually goes with what I was gonna ask earlier. I was like, what was your one most teachable moment on like one of those weddings?
Oh yeah. So the most important, like the pivotal point where I really like I need to really be able to communicate with my clients was and it actually really hit me hard because I had a couple that they actually chose, like they had hired this one photographer already, and for some reason that photographer like canceled on them or something like that, right?
Right.
And so they had contacted me as a second photographer, and so I had helped them with the timeline and everything. And this maybe this is like maybe going into my like 10th to 15th wedding.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly because I've done a ton, but the first look, right? The first look is when there's different first looks, but traditionally the first look, it means when the bride and groom sees themselves before the ceremony, like privately.
Okay.
So that's the first look. They could also have first look with their dads or their bridal party or mom, whatever. And so sometimes you want to have the first look like in a private setting. But I had talked to the bride. He's like, yeah, we want our first look like by the ceremony site before the ceremony. And apparently like I guess she didn't communicate that with like her dad or whatever, like correctly. Because we were going to do it earlier in the day so like no one sees her.
Right.
But dude, I was like literally, I was in the barber shop getting my haircut like a couple days before.
Mm.
And then she texted me, my dad's going to call you. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Usually like the mom calls me, but dad was involved. So I answered the phone and he was like, yeah, like literally like I had to go like this because he was yelling at the phone at me.
Mad.
Like super mad. I was like who the fuck like made this like arrangement of my daughter doing a first look by the ceremony site, like yelling at, like cussing at me.
Yeah.
I'm like, sir, we had discussed this with your daughter, and that's what she wanted, and so eventually calmed down. But now, I learned from that lesson just because like when I do like these consultations, I always try to also involve like the parents a little bit,
Right.
and I would like to know like the parents' names and stuff like that. And then I like to tell them like, pass this on to your family members, the timeline that I create so everybody's on the same page. Because I think sometimes it's such a high emotional ride with weddings.
Mm-hmm.
People get too emotional. Like, you know how it is. And that one time I was like, okay, I'm going to be more as communicative as possible.
Over communicate, right?
Like over communicate even on the day. I like to sometimes if possible, I like to also be part of like the rehearsal if I can meet everybody so they're more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key. Like on the wedding day, man, it's like the photographer or videographer, you play a very vital role in keeping things calm because you're with them like more than any other vendor. You're 8 to 10 hours.
That's true.
All day. And you got to keep them on track. Even the family members, you got to keep them on track.
So you have to say like, all right, guys, let's move on from this area. Let's go take these videos over here. Come on, can we all speed it up? And they're all like, what's up, homie? How's it been? Hey, girl, how you been? Right?
Yeah.
So what do you say would be the most controlling, the parents then? Or is it the actual wedding, or the actual wife, or the bride, how everybody says it is?
It varies. Sometimes the bride is super calm. Sometimes the bride is super calm. Sometimes the bride is stressed out. I've never really had like a bridezilla per se. I've had brides stress out, but not like go off on me. Most of the time, it's the parent. Like I was saying earlier, it's the parents that go off sometimes because they're so involved in their kids because they're like the dad
And they're paying for most of those. So they're like, fool, I want you to capture this very well,
But yeah, like it's mostly like family members that get a little too stressed out.
Do you find using a lot of like social, like what's the word? Social skills or to calm people down, like you said, like
yeah. So I think
because I'm sorry to interrupt, but because you're not emotionally invested, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't know unless it's your sister that's getting married, right? You're just you're hired, so you can see that from afar. You have like a barrier, right? Of like, all right, they're crying too much, or this they're too nervous. Let's move on. Because you're like the neutral part, right?
Yep, exactly. So you're almost the way I would describe a photographer is you're like the mediator sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a mediator.
But you're also the planner and the coordinator at the same time because you gotta plan these small photo shoots that you do in between, right? You do like the first look, you have to photograph that, you have to do maybe the family photos after the ceremony, and you got to keep everything on time. So you're thinking like a million times a minute of your time management, and then like you have a list of stuff to do. So it's a lot of things to remember. That's why like I'm very organized because I've never had a bad review. Like, and I really place importance on that of my quality because and that's what I always strive for is like to satisfy my clients 100% every single time. But yeah, man, it's a lot of things you gotta remember. Like and at the same time when things and this is the thing that a lot of photographers don't get if they get into the wedding industry is like being able to stay calm and troubleshoot
Mhm.
because it'll never go exactly the way you want it to. You got to be able to be flexible, troubleshoot, resourceful, and just go with the flow sometimes.
So there you go, young artists. I mean, if you want to be, or young photographers who want to be like getting into the wedding game, he just went in and just described some of the grit. You know, it's not just click and shoot. It's dealing with people, and I think we forget about that sometimes. In any service industry, we forget that it's about dealing with those people. You know, what about when they have a wedding planner? Is that easier for you or harder?
Yeah, actually a lot easier. Just because when I know they have a wedding planner, I actually, communicate with them like even before the wedding. So now I have like someone to help me on the day and that's actually that's a good point you made that because some people they want to save money, and this is when the brides get stressed out because they try to do everything themselves.
Yes.
And then they put like the role of like the sister or the mom as the planner on the day, and that's why they get stressed out.
Yeah. And then the sister sometimes could be like, "Man, shut up! You're being too," And then they forget. Then they're not professional about it, or they're like too drunk or something, right?
Exactly.
But a wedding planner is, even though it's an investment and an added investment, it really is probably a go-to. I think because it alleviates that you don't have to worry about anything. I'm paying you to control this. And what's your experience?
Exactly.
Do you connect with a lot of planners? Like, do you have like a relationship with some of them so that you can be like, well, I would like to, introduce you to this planner or something like that?
Yeah,
Does that work out?
So one of the ways I built my business is actually through networking.
Right.
So I networked the hell out of it. So when I first started, I just on Instagram, just like, some people never reply back to me. That's totally fine. But I would also visit venues too. Like I've been to every venue in Riverside. So like when I first started, just connecting with the managers face to face, I would, like one way I used to do it was like, I'd bring like Starbucks cards with me.
I love this guy. And probably not all the tricks.
Yeah, all the tricks. I don't want to give all my tricks, but yeah.
Give them all out for free, bro. They're still not going to do it, bro.
Exactly. I tell all my mentees, like, this is exactly what I do, but they just got to do it. Like, if you want to get to this point, you got to hustle. Like, that's the only way. But yeah, networking is definitely one of the keys to success, I think. And because it's such a small community in the wedding photography space.
In the tattoo industry too, man.
Yeah.
You burn one bridge, everybody will know.
Yep.
You burn a bridge in photography, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
It'll be discovered at one point, right?
Oh yeah. I had one photographer. I had her scheduled to work with me. Dude, no show.
Damn.
I called her like because we were supposed to carpool to San Diego, and this is like in San Diego, and usually I confirm everybody about a month out, and dude, no text, no call. Like she was good to go a week out, and then nothing. The day. I had to find somebody else like on the spot.
Sure, call you back.
No. Well, like this was like a week later. She made all the excuses.
Yeah.
There's
some people don't want it as bad and don't think. I was gonna ask you, who taught you how to network?
Man, so like I was saying, like I've worked I've had a ton of different jobs over the years. So from like when I first that's what I'm saying. I've always had a business mindset.
Right.
So when I was in high school, I used to slang CDs. So back then, this is 2000, like early 2000s, when the CD burners.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? Yeah, LimeWire, Napster was still around, right? Yeah, dial up. And when my mom picked up the phone,
it's over.
I was like, Mike, get the hell off the phone, the internet. But when the burners came out, I was like, oh, that's a good way to make money. Because at the time, like you couldn't make your own CD. You couldn't make your own playlist, right?
Right.
Unless you bought the entire album. But sometimes the album sucked.
Yeah.
So I would like buy stacks from Circuit City. I know you remember Circuit City?
Yeah, I remember Circuit City.
100 CDs, and I was just like, I made a form, and I fill out the form. I'll get back to you the next day. Make you a custom CD, $5 a piece. Yeah. But yeah, that was like one way for me to make money when I was in high school.
And how did that? Because we're talking about networking. How did that relate to that?
So like, and that gave me kind of the skills.
Oh,
to be
I
able
see.
And I'll get to that, to talk to people and like kind of like sell, because a big part of selling too is selling yourself. And then eventually like I started working for like a nutrition store out here, and it got me more comfortable like.
As a salesman?
Yeah,
okay.
And I became a GM eventually. But I knew.
Oh damn!
Like, becoming like like the primary store, you have to network with a ton of other people, right? Like gyms, like so. And my old boss, this I've learned a lot from him, but the way he described it is like you got to be the mayor of the city where you work at.
That's some Gary Vee talk right here, bro.
So everybody should know you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If everybody knows you, then they're gonna come to you. So that's how I blew up that store to what it is back then. But I would go to sometimes I would go to every store next in that block and just introduce myself. Here's my card. Here's my store right here. Come by, give you a free shaker bottle. Blah blah blah. So that's how I kind of learned networking, and then I just basically took that and put it in my photography business, and that's when it started taking off. Because then, like with photography, it's all about trust and referrals. So then everybody just started, oh, that's Mike, blah blah. Here, go to Mike for photography, and then just started blowing up.
I think that example you said right now, I was kind of gearing towards that, like, because there's no school for networking.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe there is in the college levels, but then it's just in theory. And when you come down to do it in business and actually, I think that's where it falls short, But in our industry for the tattoo artists, I think it's being lost, that form of networking, because social media now is so available to us.
Yeah.
That I see that I think they just put in input into this device and then they expect that it's going to come out, and just they forget that sometimes you have to go in and add some tattoo artists, add some shop owners, add some suppliers, you know what I'm saying? Event holders, and just communicate with them and just start a rapport with them, because you never know when that becomes an opportunity for a referral, and I think you learn, especially in the nutrition game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's vital to building a network, you know what I'm saying? So that everybody, like you said, you become a mayor, everybody knows you for what you do.
Yeah.
So that once they need that service, you'll be in their head.
Oh yeah. Another way to put it this way, and I tell a lot of my other photographers is like, when you meet someone, they could also be a client. Anyone you meet is an opportunity for them to be a client. Every single person
love that.
you meet. So sometimes what I do, this is crazy. Back in the day, again, I was like, when I focus on something, I just go 100%. So like I would bring stacks of cards in my car. If I went to the gym, just hand out my cards, and it got me really comfortable to meeting everybody. So I would be at Jamba Juice, give it to the cashier at the Stater Brothers. Here's my card. So, and sometimes, man, like it's crazy. Like I get clients from just like cold networking.
Yeah.
Just being in the stores. It's crazy.
Yeah, because you never know. They might, in what state of mind they are. They're ready to. They were probably looking for a photographer for their aunt, for their cousin, or something. It just happened that you guys are grabbing a Red Bull at the same freaking liquor store.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
But I feel like a lot of times we don't put what we do as far as entrepreneurs as the label of like, hey, my name is Ricky Tat. I'm a tattoo artist. Nice to meet you. We just don't do that because we assume that maybe it's just too upfront or something. But sometimes we need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Every time I meet somebody, I'm like, yeah, I'm a tattoo artist and I own a shop. I just try to plant the seed, but I don't abrasively say it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just casually into the conversation.
Exactly.
Exactly. Because you never know.
Yep.
You never know when that becomes a client, and that's, in a sense, that's a small piece of networking that we all got to do.
Oh yeah, exactly. Another point to that too is, I don't know if it's the same with like, maybe there's like a negative stigma about networking with other professionals, right? Like in your own space, because there's a little bit of stigma in the photography world where like, oh, if I'm going to connect with other photographers, like they're my competition.
Ooh, I love this combo. I love this combo.
So like, but the way I thought about it when I first started, I was like, oh man, this is a great way for me to learn from other photographers, and also to level up my game, because then I could shoot for them and see, almost like you're kind of like getting in their world and see how they do things, and maybe it'll work for me. And so that's the way I looked at it, because they have other networks too. But some photographers, man, like I've met, like they don't even want to talk to me. It's just crazy. Yeah.
Bro, I think you're just describing every industry in the service base, like that: nails, hair, micro pigmentation, tattooing. I think it's just starting to change, huh, Josh? I think it's starting to change where people are being more open to communicating with others. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand the concept of why shop owners don't have a group here locally of saying, hey, let's have a like-minded group where we can talk about what's going on. Everybody's out for their own, and I think it's because of that fear of you're gonna take my clients.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or there's enough, or there's not enough clients for everybody. I think that's bogus.
That's,
you know?
yeah.
So
100%.
we have to. I try to connect with a lot of shop owners, tattoo artists, and I just try to keep a relationship with them as far as like they know me, I know you,
Right.
and who knows what comes after that, So
Yeah, because you guys have interviewed a ton of tattoo owners, huh?
yeah, that's definitely helped us break the
Yeah.
wall, like of getting to know people. Because before I was just like in my own zone, I didn't want to know anybody,
Right.
but I was just working at my garage, Now that we have a tattoo shop and we want, especially Josh is more in the conventions. I don't go too much of them, but he's networking with other people, and that's helped us to bring in some other artists,
That's awesome.
So yeah, networking is key.
That's awesome.
So you've been mentioning a lot about mentorees and mentorships. When did that start?
Yeah, so probably about a year ago, maybe a year and a half. The reason I did it was because with photography, there's a lot of people there that have like their own business,
Yeah.
and sometimes I contract them to work for me.
Got it.
But sometimes, and I'm gonna be blunt, some of them they have like really bad habits
Yeah.
that I don't like personally. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna build my own team. So I started like people that reach out to me, and I sometimes like I do kind of like just search on Instagram, look for talent. And that's interesting now that I'm looking for people that's in my position, and some people reach out to me.
Right.
So, but I still look at their work to see if they're talented, because there is a certain level, right? I mean, with photography, like you have to have a little bit of talent to make it, in my opinion.
A lot of talent.
Yeah.
You know?
So, but I could teach you pretty much most of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I want to keep my level of quality to a certain level. So I was like, you know what? Let me bring these people on as mentees, and I'm gonna train them in my style, and just not even the style, but the way I do business.
Yeah.
Because then when I have them on other photo shoots, they have the same level of like communication that I do, the level of service, everything that I do is the same.
Yeah, it's structure. You want to put them into
Structure.
your kind of structure. What you said right there relates to us. Like when we were next door,
Yeah.
we were just hiring to hire to fill in the seat. We weren't vetting them that good, the quality, or maybe the quality was there because we were like, okay, you can tattoo,
Right.
but maybe their structure wasn't there. Were they on time? Did
Exactly.
they treat their clients well? Did they communicate? Were they active on social? All that stuff, right? So we wouldn't vet them with that, but we would lose them right away. So when we jumped in here, we said, all right, we're gonna just start from scratch, just me and him, because we're half business owners. Then from there we build. So we started training apprentices, and then at one time we had 4 of them here, and so now they're learning our structure. Their talent is there,
Right.
that could turn into tattooing if they haven't tattooed, but their structure wasn't there. And then that's what we build here within the 2-year apprenticeship that we have. I'm really adamant about coming on time, because if you don't come in on time in your apprenticeship program, can you imagine coming late to a tattoo client?
Oh yeah.
It just doesn't look right. It's already business, it's bad habits.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
How long do you have them work for you?
So for me, it's more of like progressive. For me, the way I look at it, it's how fast they level, like they're progress. I mean, so if they're like, because everybody has certain levels with photography. So if they're like super brand new, I just have them like shadow me, and then eventually I'll move them up as like assistant photographer, and then second photographer, and then lead photographer. But it really depends. I've had some like my photographer right now that has been with me the longest. He just worked hard. Within like a year, he literally had like 20 weddings the next year on his own.
On his own.
Yeah, just learning from me. Yeah, so like, and some people take longer. You know what I mean?
of course.
Just how much dedication and work ethic you put into it, you'll get rewarded based off the amount of work you put in.
Is there a certain structure you follow to teach them?
Yeah, so I actually have like a SOP that I give to my photographers, and then like, but that's the thing with weddings, man. It's you really have to have that experience. Like you can't just learn it from like watching YouTube. You have to be there to witness it, because it's different from just watching on YouTube than being there and feeling the level of stress. You got to feel the stress.
Well, it's not just the day of the wedding. Like you're doing pre-planning before, right?
Exactly.
So how long before do you plan for one wedding?
So most of the clients they book me like 6 months to a year out. So we're planning like at least 6 months out. Most of the
6
wedding.
months out, and you're doing like the pre-photos and all that as well.
Pre-engagement photos. I'm helping them with like the timeline, and I actually go really above and beyond with a lot of my clients. So like on my website, I have like preferred vendors. I'll give them that list. So I have a lot of things where it's already structured. So let's say someone hits me up on my website. Immediately, I send them an automatic email. Reply within like seconds that says, "Oh, thank you for the inquiry. My name is Mike. I appreciate you. Congratulations on your wedding. Based off like, and because it also asks for your location. So I have like there's also like with my system, there's an AI thing. It's hard for me to describe it because it's very crazy, but you can customize your response based off like certain like
based on the parameters they type in.
Yeah, dude, it's insane.
Yeah,
but it's all about automation too. So that's the one thing that's really helped me with structure is having a system. So I have like a client management software called Honeybook, and basically I automate everything. So like responses, if they want like my pricing list, I mean, I could literally book someone on my phone within 5 minutes. Invoice contract in 5 minutes after the call. Super fast. Yeah.
Does it matter? Does the price change if the client is in Riverside or he's in Santa Clarita?
I do take that in consideration.
Okay. Yeah, because the drive, right? And
the drive, yeah, for sure.
Okay, obviously.
Or yeah, like if I've done out of state, so it'll vary.
Out of state too.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think definitely automation, like having an SOP.
What is SOP? You mentioned that earlier.
Standard operating procedures.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So a lot of things I also learned from the military. So I was in the Marine Corps.
Oh, that's why you're so disciplined.
So disciplined. So like I learned a lot of like just being structured, like having things in place. And this is the one thing I learned too is like if you start growing fast, like super fast, and you're going and trying to scale your business, and if you don't have like those structures in place, man, you're gonna stress yourself out. Like I know a lot of people, they don't even have like contracts. Like I mean, like they have paper contracts,
Right.
And so, but now, man, you could e-sign a contract on my thing immediately.
Digital, yeah.
Yeah, so everything's digital. So, but yeah, man, it's just all about like having things in place already, even before you start booking clients. Like I have a whole SOP. It's kind of lengthy, but yeah, like of the sales workflow, how I structure my sales calls, everything's structured. Yeah.
And just set for scaling, bro.
Yeah. So like that's the whole goal now is to have like expand my services like everywhere. Like eventually, like because there are studios out there like that are nationwide, but we'll see. I really have to kind of do more research and dig deep on how I can do that. So
it's pretty cool.
I'm thinking about Alex Harmanzi. He had partnered up with some dude that had a studio. Now they have like 300 of them within 2 years. I would love to see how like their business structure was, right? But it's definitely added some discipline. But let me go back to what I asked you about the mentorship. You said something very important. In order for me to teach these young and up and coming photographers, they can get the information from YouTube, but they can't get the full experience till they're there. And you didn't start mentoring people after you did 10 weddings. You did it after 300 weddings.
Yeah, like
just recently.
Just recently.
And I think your experience, you almost probably came across 90% of all the situations. So when one of these mentorees asks you about a certain thing, you can confidently say, "Oh, this is how you do it." You know, because I find myself when we're training the apprentices, and they ask me, "What would you do here?" I find that I have the answer right away. It's because in 15 years, I've came across 95% of the situations. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Obviously, there's still always some growth in learning new things, but sometimes I even amaze myself that I know the answer right away and very confidently. And imagine if I tell them, well, I don't know, I do say I don't know when I genuinely don't know.
Right.
And it's fine to say that.
Yep.
You know what? I don't know in that situation. What would you do? And it becomes a learning, and it becomes like a learning experience or lesson that time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a certain point where of level of experience that you have to be able to teach, in my opinion, to teach someone in any genre of any like art. You know what I mean? Because it's like you have to physically experience those things to share it with someone. Like there's no way you can learn that from just YouTube education.
Because people can really see through people sometimes when you're BSing, you know what I'm saying? But when you genuinely know and you genuinely like confident in your experience, it comes across and people will respect that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? That's dope, bro.
Yeah, appreciate
Let me
it.
ask you, what if there's there's future photographer or videographer seeing this podcast and they really liked it and they like the tips you gave, what would you maybe a couple tips on if they wanted to start in the wedding, because that's your strong point? What would you say to them? Like, what 3 tips?
Yeah, I've actually been asked this question like many times, but yeah, absolutely. So I think number 1 is to just reach out to other photographers, connect, network with other photographers. That sounds kind of weird, I think, when it's like you're running a business, right? If you're trying to run a legit business and you're trying to make an income, but it really works. Like if you connect with other photographers, you'll learn a lot. You learn a lot, and ask if you can be their like assistant. Don't even ask for money yet, and that's just me.
Can I interject something? Is it smart to say, hey, I'm new to this, but I want to learn, or should they avoid that?
No, I'd say just be honest.
Right?
Yeah, because when photographers reach out to me, the question I ask them is like, why are you contacting me, and what do you want from me?
Yeah.
I just be honest, like
straight out.
Yeah, straight up. Because if they just want to work, and there's a certain thing, like level of like determination I look for too, is like, you just want to work for me? Okay, that's fine. But when other people ask me, I was like, oh, I want to learn from you. I was like, wait, that's different.
Yeah.
Like they really want to learn. I was like, okay, I'm going to teach more than this other photographer. But yeah, that's one advice. If you really want to get into the wedding industry, is to connect with other wedding photographers and just learn in the beginning. Learn as much as you can, and see if you can, assist them on the wedding day. That's the key, is to get in there and learn as much as you can.
To see if you actually like it.
That too, yeah, that too. I've had photographers that assisted me, and the next thing you know, like they ghost me.
After that 100-degree day, right?
Oh, dude.
Carrying those cameras and all that stuff. Any other tip? I mean, that sounds like one of the best tips.
Yeah,
but.
I'd say that's probably the most important tip.
Right.
Other tips is like, you could also learn from YouTube education as much as you can. Just continue to learn. But one of the things I did too, again, I take it to the next level sometimes. So when I first really wanted to do this, and I was still kind of learning photography, dude, I would take my camera for a whole year everywhere I went. Literally every day
That's so
after
smart.
work, I would shoot, and it's even on my YouTube channels. I would take a photo every single day for 12 months. Yeah, just so I can literally I can close my eyes and I know exactly where the settings are. Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
So just like muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
And the more you do it, like when I do weddings, and my other photographers watch me, I was like, man, you're so fast. Well, because I already know what the settings I need to get. It's all manual. For me, I shoot everything manual. So I already know what to do in that situation. I've been in it so many times. And it just takes practice and practice and practice.
I'm resonating with you on that as far as my script, because people are like, how can you do script so good?
Yeah.
Well, they don't know. For like a year, I was just writing every day, writing, making that S 1,000 times, literally, whatever it was, because that was my favorite letter to do, the S. And I would try to do it so many different times, you know what I'm saying? And now that I just do it on the fly easily, they're like, how did you do that? Well, they don't know that. And it's kind of in a comparison how you did that. Just carry the camera. That's so smart.
Yeah. My family got tired of me after that 30 days.
Hey, but they want the pictures though.
I want the pictures, yeah.
Like, you always carry the camera, but hey, how did I look on that other one?
Dude, I would literally take it like to every function, every single time. It's like, Mike, your camera again? Yeah.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself like in 5 years?
Oh man, yeah, definitely. I'd say I have a different like outlook now. I think in 5 years, I definitely want to just to be a traveler, a destination wedding photographer.
What does that mean?
So
I mean, sounds fancy.
yeah. So
That's why you want to get that Springer van.
oh yeah, that spinner van, like basically just and only accept the work I want. Like really accept the work I want. Like maybe only like 10 weddings a year, but then I'm charging like maybe 20, 30 grand a year.
Yeah.
I mean, per wedding, you
For
know?
wedding.
Yeah, and then also like just crazy locations, right? Like maybe like at the glaciers in Alaska or Banff in
Oh.
Canada. You know what I mean? Like the locations I want to go to.
Yeah.
But that's like the goal, like the 100% goal.
Carlos, I saw you nodding. Is that something that you aspire to as well? Oh, destinations? Oh, okay. Maybe I thought that was a thing. hmm Is it like that guy Peter McComlin or whatever that comes out? He's always giving tips on Peter McKinnon. You know who he is?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He gives a lot of tips. His fucking color grading is beautiful, and his editing, he does these like stories, and he looks like he's a destination. I mean, granted, he has like fucking 500,000 followers, but oh, okay, yeah,
Influencer too.
influencer,
Yeah.
bro. Just a YouTuber makes racks.
So that's
We gotta stop saying that.
just
Oh,
an
he's just a YouTuber. Like that's a serious fucking business now.
that's a career.
It's
now.
a career, bro. I mean, it doesn't. It's not for everybody. We've been doing this for 3 years, and we're not making money off of it yet. It was we're getting branding, but that's hard to measure. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think for the people that it does work, like I know a guy named HB Media. His YouTube's killing it. He gets gigs off of that.
Nice.
It's how you get those results going in. But we're still fighting the good fight here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trying to get out there, getting quality guests like you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a grind.
Yeah.
It can't all be easy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And I think the last tip I can give any young photographer, if you really want it, you gotta want it as much as you want to breathe. You know what I mean? You gotta work every day and get better at it every single day. I mean, that's just, again, I just have that mindset that if I want something, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean?
I agree with you 100% of that. And I want to say one last thing, guys. We did work together one day. That's how we kind of knew each other. I wanted to say this in the beginning, but we just got into the whole thing. But you filmed my wife, and she was half naked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We did this project with gold tape, right? And I pretty much did the black tape company. You're familiar with that?
Yeah.
But I did it with gold on her. She wanted to do flakes, but we didn't get the flakes in time or whatever.
Yeah.
So we did the gold taping. And let me tell you, man, I honestly, I loved the experience with you. You made it so comfortable. You were very professional. But at the same time, you were very like genuine. You know what I'm saying? And with those 3 or 4 hours we were there, my kids were there. It's hard for a woman to be half naked.
Yep.
That normally doesn't do that, right? In front of a stranger. And that was a test. That's why we had you on the podcast as well. You're very genuine, and and hearing you more in depth into your career, bro, like you're just gonna blow up. I can't wait to get you on the second interview when you're doing bigger things. You know what I'm saying? But
Awesome.
You'll
Appreciate
be
that.
too big for us by then.
he might be like, come to my studio in Newport, bro.
Oh man, and I appreciate you guys, man. It's been like crazy watching you guys, like what, 3 years now? Like
3 years.
I mean, since I witnessed the first one here,
Yeah.
I've listened to like probably 90% of your podcast.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like I always go back
Nice.
because I travel a lot.
Yeah.
So when I like travel to like San Diego, like up north, I listen to podcasts.
Mhm.
So that's my thing. Like,
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it for
Nice.
so many podcasts out there, and for for you to just play our stuff and listen to us. I mean, I'm pretty sure you heard a lot of our stuff right now that we say, you know what I'm saying? Because we got to repeat this. It's not just talk about one thing and forget it. That's how we learn. We learn by repetition of saying these scenarios. And I think that's the power of this podcast.
Oh yeah.
Repeat customer service, repeat over delivering, repeat passion, repeat, and shove it down people's
Yeah,
throats.
absolutely.
That's how we win.
Yeah. I remember that one podcast you guys had a debate over like Gary V or something.
Oh, yeah, with our apprentice, huh? Yeah. That was interesting. This guy's teamed up with him because, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, Gary V's a special person, but that's just, I'm very passionate about that man because he changed my life. Well, he helped me realize that I can do my own change. He didn't actually change it, right? And sometimes I think we need that from somebody else, And it didn't take the first time he told me. It took about a year of listening to him to finally say, all right, man, I get it, dude. I get it. I don't want to live with regret. Okay, I'm going to do it now. And that's what happened to me. So that's what we're trying to do here.
That's awesome.
Where can they reach you at, man? Just one last time,
You guys can follow me on my Instagram, photos by Mikey in Espanol. Also, photosbymikey.com. And that's pretty much it. I mean, just hit me up, contact me. If you guys are young photographers, I'd love to help you guys. I was willing to give back, you know what I mean? Like, because that's how I started. A few photographers helped me, like, bring me up to their level. And now I'm, kind of at their level as well. But it's all about just sharing knowledge too. And I like doing that with everyone. So,
dope, man.
Nice.
All right. Oh, close it up, big dog.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, please give us a like, follow. And if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. And then go ahead and give Mikey a follow as well.
Yeah.